In this video, I'll be talking about why I enjoyed Superman, but also as a big fan of the character, I left the cinema feeling a bit disappointed. It's not a review, it's also not a rant. I actually did enjoy the movie. It has great cast, great action, great energy. There's just something very essential missing, and that is what I want to talk about for this video. I will get right into it by talking about one of the biggest gripes that I had with this movie, and that is the fact that there's literally no character arc in this movie. Or at least there is, but it's all just very undercooked. Clark starts the movie by being happy, saving people and smiling. He ends the movie by being happy, saving people and smiling. He does doubt himself after he finds out the truth about his parents, but we don't really see any internal struggle, we don't see any challenge to his worldview. The same goes for Lois. She says that she's skeptical of people and isn't really into relationships. And at the end, Clark and her just get together, but we see very little explanation of why her walls come down. There is a scene where she sees Clark in his bedroom and he's all sick, his parents are taking care of him, and she realizes that Clark is also human and loved, but it's just not enough for me personally. The Justice Gang is in the beginning sort of against Superman, but at the end they help him, which is probably an implication that Superman inspired them, but it's all just so very passive to me. We don't have any scenes of these characters coming to revelation, epiphanies, learning something, being flawed. Things are just happening in this movie. And in my opinion, that's wasted potential, because with the main message of the movie, they could have done a lot of work for these characters. But this also brings me to the second point, which is the main message of the movie that I also have an opinion about. The main message of the movie is that kindness is the new punk rock, which is a really good sentiment. It's a very fitting message for Superman. It's very relevant for the world right now. But the amount of attention this movie spends towards this idea is that Clark and Lois have a conversation about how they're different, that Lois is skeptical and Clark is optimistic. So Clark says, yeah, maybe being kind is a new punk rock. Second way is characters like the Justice Gang do good stuff. Third, Superman smiles at the end and the punk rocker starts playing, and that's it. There's no philosophical discussion about kindness, there's no psychological friction towards being mean or towards being kind, no moment of Superman doubting himself, maybe after seeing the hordes of people. It's all just an empty be kind. Okay, so I'm back on another day because something went wrong with filming, but the point that I was making was that I think it's very unfortunate that the main theme of the movie is this undercooked. I feel like it really undervalues the complexity of Superman. Superman is a force for good, but I don't think his positivity can be diluted to just being kind. There are layers to his positivity. There are rational reasons why he's kind. Krypton's philosophy, the way he's raised by the Kents. Instead, the movie just focuses on Hope Corps. Yet at the same time, it's quite strange because the movie does start out with complex ideas. When I watched the interview with Clark and Lois, I thought they were doing something really substantial. Clark thought he was all good invading Barovia. Lois is saying, yes, your intention was good, but there are still consequences unrelated to whether you meant it well or not. This scene had me thinking, okay, they're gonna add a layer to Superman's optimism, saying that a pure heart is not enough to be righteous. But they kind of went nowhere with that scene. But there has been feedback towards these critiques I made, not against me specifically, but other people who said the same thing. One of the arguments is that a character doesn't always need a character arc to have an interesting story. That is true, and one of the biggest examples for this are the Captain America movies. In every Captain America movie, Steve stays the same person of wanting to do the right thing, but there's a crucial difference in how this is done. In The Winter Soldier, for example, Steve is an idealistic person for the whole movie, but his idealism continuously gets challenged throughout the film. He got challenged when S.H.I.E.L.D. had a bigger mission than him, when all he cared about were saving hostages. He got challenged when S.H.I.E.L.D. turned into Hydra. He got challenged when Bucky was brainwashed and Sam was asking if it's actually wise to save him. And in those scenes, the movie takes a second to breathe. We see the character doubting or pushing through. And it showcases us that this is what the character faces, but this is also what he stands for. So yes, Steve is a static character, but his morals continuously get challenged in the story, which lets us see the depth of them. Personally, my take is that the scene where Cap takes his colored suit back for the final battle to showcase that he's not getting weighed down by the gray and bitter of the world is, in my opinion, a better Superman movie than what we got. Or at least not a better Superman movie, but It showcases idealism in a much better way than whatever Superman did. Because stuff like this was just missing in Superman. In the end, the movie feels more of an overcorrection to Man of Steel instead of a standalone movie trying to say something new about Superman. Compared to Man of Steel, Superman smiles a lot more here and is a lot more warm. And it's definitely not the worst thing that this movie does this, because like I said, the movie has really good energy. David Corenswet is really good, the action is great, I really like the stadium fight. I very much like the score, but that's all that this movie has for me. Good energy. And when it comes to Superman, I want to have more than a wink and smile. I want to know why he smiles. But I'm watching it again this week. Perhaps I will change my mind, and perhaps I made this video for nothing, but I haven't made a video in a long time, so good to get the algorithm going again. If you want to see the depth of Superman that I was talking about, check out these video essays in the corner. That is where I talk about what I love about Superman. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Really soon, because I'm getting serious about creating videos again. So, see ya.